Welcome to the IGN Rewind Theater breakdown of the Batman Telltale Adventure Series trailer, where I took your little trailer and I turned it on itself. Let's talk about the most exciting part of the trailer, which is this part right here. Very reminiscent of the Heath Ledger film from 2008, The Dark Knight, one of my favorite movies of all time. This is Batman, voiced by Troy Baker. We'll talk about him in a second. He is diving off of a building to get at not Rachel, but Catwoman. Let me explain why. Let me back up and let the trailer roll, give you some context. So I had the good fortune of seeing almost everything from this trailer at E3. This is all from about the first 30 minutes of the game, which I had seen played for me by Telltale at E3. So this is set in what would approximately be year 2 or so. He's not a brand new Batman. He's established, but he's not been around for 20 years. He's not the grizzled old Batman yet. And the first 30 minutes of the game flashes back between this stuff, which is the Batman stuff at the night before, and then the other stuff we see at Wayne Manor, which is the next night where he is throwing a fundraising party for Harvey Dent. So, with that little context in mind, let's start by talking about this. So this right here, let's back up just a tad, actually. There you can see the banner, Harvey Dent, for Mayor of Gotham, a voice for change. Bruce is throwing a fundraiser for, of course, a pre-Two-Face Harvey Dent, who is running for mayor. Now, this game promises, as it is a Telltale adventure game, it is choice-based, it is narrative-driven, it promises to focus just as much on the Bruce Wayne parts as it does the Batman parts, which really excites me because we've never really had that in a video game before. We've had that in comics, we've had that on film, but we've never had that in a video game before. So that much excites me. Now, there will be choices that are made with respect to each one of the sides of Bruce Wayne's personality. So this is, again, at night. Here we get a quick look for just a second at Vicky Vale. We'll go back. She has snuck into the party. No reporter's supposed to be allowed. And I saw this conversation play out. And what happens is she presses you for an interview. And you can either stonewall her or you can agree to it. And either way, it's going to affect your relationship with Vicky Vale in subsequent episodes. Now, another party goer is Carmine Falcone right here, the gentleman in the center, of course. He is invited to the party by Harvey Dent. Now, Bruce doesn't like this. He knows what these guys are up to. He knows they're not good people. But he's also super loyal to Harvey. So you take him in a back room for a private conversation here, and it's up to you whether or not you want to grit your teeth and just tolerate him in loyalty to Harvey to try and get Harvey elected mayor, or, because of course Falcone wields a lot of influence, or you can actually throw him out of your house. You can throw him out of Wayne Manor, which of course is not going to make Falcone happy, and it might put a target on your back in subsequent episodes. So I want to talk about, as we go back through, first you get a quick look. This is, of course, Alfred's just, you know, he's kind of saying, oh, Bruce, what are you doing? This is right before the party. So those double doors back there, through there is the Harvey Dent fundraising party. And this is Bruce, just he's having to get dressed and suck it up and get out there and be his other self, which is Bruce Wayne.
Shadows.
We move ahead and then we go another scene down here. You get a look at the Batmobile on the left, the Bat computer in the center here, the Bat suit over on the right-hand side. We get another look at that here in a second. It's a better look at Bruce. Now, Bruce is voiced by Troy Baker in this, and we're going to hear his Bruce Wayne in a minute. I want to take a quick editorial comment. Again, I saw the first half an hour of this first episode, and I liked it mostly. I didn't like Troy Baker. Troy Baker is a fantastic video game voice. It's just a fantastic voice actor who does a lot of video game work, but I really felt like he wasn't really putting a lot. I didn't get a lot out of his Bruce Wayne. He just sounded like Troy Baker being Troy Baker. And the Batman voice, now you'll notice we don't hear the Batman voice in this trailer at all, and I'm hoping that's because they're fixing it. They put the robotic voice filter on it, not unlike Batman vs. Superman, but it really threw me off. I really didn't like it. I've talked to a few other people at IGN who weren't a fan of the Batman voice in this either, so I'm hoping maybe Telltale's gone back in and adjusted that and tweaked that. But if we go, we'll take a look now at the, let's see, we met Vicky Vale. Actually, yeah, we met Vicky Vale. We met Falcone. Let's talk about combat, which is coming up right up. Let's actually just skip right ahead to the combat, because that's right here, in fact. Let's talk about the combat. Boom. So you see, of course, it wouldn't be Batman without combat, but it's also a Telltale game. So the combat happens via QuickTime button presses, QTEs. So you've got to hit a button right there, button there, and if you hit them correctly and quickly, you fill up a bat meter, sort of a power-up meter, which when filled up will let you end a fight with a big finishing move. So there's a quick look at Catwoman. So what happens is this night before scene where you're Batman, you're at this city hall or mayor's office, and these armed guys are breaking in. They're trying to steal a hard drive, some sort of data, some sort of information, and you're trying to stop them. But then Catwoman shows up to throw a wrench in the whole thing, and she tries to steal the data or the hard drive for herself, and that's you you diving off the building to try and get to her to get that hard drive back. So the one thing I need help with, by the way, I'm trying to help you guys understand this a little bit better based on the context I can provide from E3, but I confess I don't know who this is. Can you guys help me with this? The best theory we have internally here is this anarchy? Or is this some sort of hint at anarchy? Because you notice, I mean, this guy's clearly not your average dude. His face is bloody. He's got some blood on his neck. He's got his hand on Bruce's shoulder, and he's talking about, oh, big things. Things are happening. So could that be anarchy? If you've got any theories, either reinforcing that or negating that, do let me know. Do chime in the comments. But and then when Bruce says that he's walking out of the party right up here. So when he says, "Time to save the city," time to save the city, right there, he walks out into the fundraiser. So he believes that Harvey can help save the city, just as you've seen in other Batman properties. This is its own Batman story. It's apparently not going to take any direct storylines from other Batman famous storylines over the years, but it might take a few hints here and there. So one last thing I wanted to point you to. Listen closely at the end of this. You hear that little subtle chuckle right there? So maybe a hint of the Joker coming up in subsequent episodes. We didn't see him in the first 30 minutes of this because we actually, at least in the first 30 minutes of the game that I saw, the first episode, there were no of the big rogues gallery. No Penguin, no Joker, no Riddler, etc. But this is it. This is Telltale's episodic Batman adventure game series. The first episode hits on August 2nd on pretty much every platform, and we're gonna keep a close eye on it. Again, I'm a little nervous about the Troy Baker factor. I don't know if he's gonna be right for this, but I hope so. I hope it's gonna play out because I love the concept. So for much more on all things happening with Telltale Batman, keep it tuned to IGN.